Now, I'm just going to break through parent carers and then we'll take discussion. As I say, we're particularly interested because the charity that funds my chair-in-law at Leeds is a disabled children's charity. Our research is particularly focused on disabled children and their families. And so I'm going to just sort of cover this issue a lot because we're getting quite a lot of people being told in Wales that social services authorities don't do assessments of parent carers. They do whole family assessments. Well, that's just the local authority deciding it's not going to follow their legal duties, which is really not a course of action open to any of us, let alone a public body. So Section 24 of the Social Services and Wellbeing Act makes it the duty of local authorities to assess carers who are within the local authority's area, who what's called ordinary resident in the local authority area. And that assessment must consider whether the carer has a need for support and what those needs are. It's got to assess the extent to which care is willing and able to continue and to provide care. Now, sometimes local authorities say, well, parent carers don't have to be willing and able, it's their responsibility. But the Ombudsman, as we'll see, and the courts don't agree with that. You can't force people to care. Caring isn't something that you can use language of that kind to do. Caring is something people do because they want to do that, and forcing them to do something they don't want to do or are unable to do. And normally with parent carers, what one's really saying is that I'm physically unable to do this, or I can't sustain the household and keep the house together and pay the rent unless I work. I'd love to have a private income, but I don't. So I'm not able to be with the children 24/7. And this is different to a parent for a non-disabled children because the disabled child requires so much more support. So the legislation says they have to assess the extent to which the carer is able to provide care, but also the extent to which they're willing to do that. And it's not in the English legislation, but it is in the Welsh legislation, and it's a really important and precious provision. It's an excellent provision in the Social Services and Wellbeing Act. And it says that a disabled child is presumed to need care in addition to or instead of the care supported by the child's family. Now that's a really brilliant provision, and as I say, it doesn't exist in England. So what the Welsh government, the Welsh Senedd is saying is that all care plans concerning disabled children, the default position is they must make additional supports for the child, because having a disabled child is an additional issue for families because of the way our society is constructed. So in a way, the onus is on a local authority to show why they don't think in their particular case there is a need to put in support, because the presumption is there will be a need for support.